Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fabric Fridays with me, Mary Morningstar Johnson from Ruby and Violet Designs. On today's episode, I'm going to talk to you guys about a really fun quilter, designer. She designs patterns, she designs fabric, and her name is Elizabeth Hartman. And I've been following her for the last couple of years. She loves color, and as you guys know, I love color. And her patterns are simple, but they are definitely challenging enough for even advanced quilters, in my opinion. And I'm going to show you guys a pattern that I completed the small quilt for it. As of right now, I'm thinking of maybe making it a little bit larger, but I'm going to talk to you guys today about that pattern and show you a couple of her fabrics that I have, and hopefully get you guys excited to maybe want to check her out and see more of her stuff. So the pattern that I completed this week is called Delightful Desert, and I only just did one little section of it, and I did it in the cooler turquoises, greens, and not really blue, but a little bit more of like a blue-green color. And then I love all the colors in the whole thing, so I'm really thinking about going ahead and making several more and just making one big quilt. But for right now, I did this little one. I don't know, maybe I'll quilt it up and give it to somebody as a baby quilt. But anyway, it's a really fun pattern, and I have to give a little confession. When I got this pattern, I thought, oh, that looks so easy. I'll just whip that out. And it's not difficult by any means, but it definitely was more challenging than I had anticipated. It's not something you're just gonna sit down and get done in one night. There's a lot of cutting, and there's not really much to figure out in it. It's all laid out for you in the pattern, but you do have to concentrate and really get your cutting right and make sure that you're putting the right pieces where they go, and so that you end up with everything the correct size that it's supposed to be. So anyway, it is a really fun pattern. I think that, you know, even if you're an advanced quilter and you want something, you know, a little bit different, if this isn't something that you normally sew up, I recommend it because it's not just going to be a walk in the park. I mean, you're going to have to put some effort into it and concentrate, especially if you have directional fabric. So that leads me to my next part, is talking about her fabric. And I have a couple of them here, and then I have one of them in the quilts. But she did these little deer, and so as you can see, they're directional. So I did use the deer as one of the fabrics. I used all solids except for the deer fabric of hers. And you have to pay attention to which way you're turning that fabric so that when you iron it over, that it's going the correct way. Or if it's a horizontal piece, making sure that you've cut it horizontally versus cutting it vertically. So anyway, again, this pattern is very fun, but don't take it lightly or get thinking that you're going to just get it done because, oh yeah, I've sewn a lot of things like that. So anyway, but the rest of her fabric is, there's this gray one, and then there's these, and then in the pattern itself, it shows you some of the other fabrics that she designed for this pattern. And as you can see, I have that deer. This is the deer that I included, and then I have this one and this one. But she had a whole line of this fabric. It's through Robert Kaufman, and she also has solids that she designed gave Robert Kaufman the color palette that coincides with her fabric collection that she did. So that is in there too as a reference guide, and it gives you the fabric numbers if you're wanting to seek out the specific fabrics that she used in this quilt. I did buy the Robert Kaufman solids that coincided with her designs, but I was a little bit more interested in just the solids, except for I did want to include the deer because it added just a little bit of a pop of something different. So without further ado, here is my one section of the Elizabeth Hartman Delightful Desert Quilt. And I love this quilt pattern. It's so simple, but it has so many complex pieces to it. And you can see where I added the patterned fabric there. It shows up in the pelican, in the deer, and in the butterfly. And then you can see the coordinating colors that I added around it. And like I said, it's not a pattern to be taken lightly. It's not difficult. I mean, it's a lot of piecing and a lot of cutting, but you know, there are parts to it that I guess I don't know. It wasn't that I wasn't thinking about it, but I was just working on it and just going. And after the fact, I thought, oh, maybe I should have done that a little bit differently. Like, for example, in the pelican, this strip right here is just a little bit crooked. My anxiety over needing it to be super straight and perfect kind of took over, and I was really, really close to taking it out, but I thought, no, I really want to get this done. I really want to see what this looks like. And so I just went with it and just tried to kind of iron it and move the fabric, because that was the other thing, is when I was ironing these fabrics, I was noticing, I guess maybe I haven't really sewn much just all solid fabrics. Usually my fabrics have a pattern to them, but there's not a lot of give. I mean, you're gonna see when there's little ripples or little wrinkles. I mean, I didn't use starch on it, but just noticing those little things, or if you have to kind of stretch that fabric just a little bit to get it to fit to match up your seams, you're probably going to notice that little bit of stretching in the fabric. And even when you're ironing it, the solid fabrics, that fabric is going to stretch a little bit when you're ironing where you've sewn down, and it's going to kind of stretch that fabric over where you've sewn. And that, I think, is what caused my pelican's eye to be just a little bit cockeyed, that strip. But it's okay. I just keep telling myself it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. So anyway, I'm growing to love the little bit of imperfections in this quilt. I had to improvise a few spots. For some reason, I was half of an inch off on this little guy here, and so that kind of threw off my sashing. But you know, when it's quilted and you get all of those other seams in it, nobody is going to notice. So I think the other nice thing about this quilt is that you do have lots of different sections of these same characters. So these are all of the characters within that pattern. And I think that when you do them multiple times, I think you start to realize, you know, how to get those pieces to fit together a little bit better. So I guess technically this is probably just maybe my test block of these animals. And so I don't know, I'm on the fence. I might do a bigger one. I might just stop with this one and put it away for a while until I need a little woodland creature blanket, but I love doing little animals, and then of course I do love the colors. So anyway, I hope that you guys really like this, and I hope maybe that you might want to order the pattern or order one of her different patterns. She has a lot of really, really cute ones out there. So this wraps up my 10th week of doing Fabric Fridays every Friday, every week for the last 10 weeks. It has so far been really fun. I've really been doing some searching and finding some really cool things that are out there. I've been checking out a little bit closer. I actually saw this Elizabeth Hartman pattern a while ago, and this show kind of prompted me to move forward with getting the pattern and testing it out. If there are any fabrics or any companies of fabrics that you guys are wanting to see or hear more about, I'd love for you to comment on this video and let me know. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to be hopefully trying some different things with my videos. I've been thinking about maybe doing a playlist where I have still my Fabric Fridays, and then I also do maybe some process videos. So I have kind of some different ideas rolling around, and I'm excited to see where I keep going with this video journey and sharing different things with you guys. So thank you so much still for staying with me and watching, and please be sure to like and subscribe, and share this video with your friends that you think might be interested, maybe just learning something a little bit different, or I know when I was starting out quilting, I was really interested in hearing about all these different quilt pattern designers and different big name quilters that I was new to the world of quilting and I didn't know anything, and so finding these people and being able to look to them as sort of mentors and teaching me you know, what to do and what to look for and what's new out there in quilting really has helped me become a better quilter myself. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week on another episode of Fabric Fridays with me, Mary Morningstar Johnson from Ruby and Violet Designs.